In this problem, I will show you how to take a function that is graphed and do a translation to it. So for two different problems, we're going to work with this function that you see pictured at the top with points A, B, C, and D. I've written the coordinates for these points right below the graph to the right. So in number one, what we're going to do is we're going to take this function and we're going to add 1 to it. Now what that really means is we're going to be adding 1 to each of the y coordinates because f of x is the same thing as y. I've graphed the original points on the graph with number 1 so that you can see how they move. And so to add 1 to each of the y's, we'll move each point directly up 1. That changes point A, moves point A to the position -3, 1. I'm going to call that A prime since it's not the original A. And it moves point B to the position -1, 4. And I'll call that B prime. And it moves point C to position 1, 0. And we're going to move point D to position 3, 1. And then we're going to connect these dots. And so what I've drawn on number 1 is the original function plus 1. In number 2, we're going to negate f of x, which means we're going to negate each of the y's. Now what that does is it reflects across not the y-axis. A lot of students think that, but it reflects all the points across the x-axis because you're negating the y values. So any point that's actually on the x-axis is going to stay where it is because if you negate y, you're negating 0. And so you have the same thing. So I'll write in A prime and D prime for those 2 points. But the point -1, 3, which we called point B, when you negate y, you've changed the position to -1, -3. And so B prime is the original B value, or B point, reflected across the x-axis. And then point C, which is 1, -1, gets reflected across the x-axis to negate the y value. So it lands at 1, 1. And now what I'm going to do is I'm connecting the translated points, which I called prime in each case. And so that's taken the original function and reflecting it across the x-axis. When you're doing your MyOpenMath problems, you need to click on the endpoints starting on the left and the corner points only. If you try to click any other points, it will be wrong.